So the gender wars aren't over. There was an op-ed in the New York Times about bro talk on Wall Street and how it still exists. And I remember seeing this article, reading it one Saturday, Sunday morning, going out for a drive, and actually literally having to pull over to the side of the road because I felt like I'd been kicked in the stomach. I remember thinking, this is still going on. I know it happened when I was a junior professional. When I first started work at Solomon Brothers, I would come into work and there'd be Xerox copy of male private parts on my desk in the morning.
The sacrifices you make when you're creating a brand, any creator can relate. It's lonely, it can be frightening, you can be scared. I'm so proud of myself for believing in something that I worked so hard to create. It's incredible. My name is Alexandra Cooper. I go by Alex, but Alexandra because this is Forbes. I am 27 and I have a podcast called Call Her Daddy. Call Her Daddy essentially is a podcast, but also just a brand and a lifestyle that embodies what maybe you would talk about with your friends in your bedroom, but maybe too embarrassed to talk about in public or tweet about. There's so much shame around so many topics and themes that I was fortunate to grow up in a household that was normalized to speak your mind. And so I was like, give me the microphone, I'll say it. My dad is in the industry, he does sports production, and there was always cameras in my house, and I would pick it up and point it at my face and be like, I need to be on camera, I need to be making movies. And then after college, I heard out, I'm like, oh my God, what's a podcast? Started a podcast, and I always knew I was gonna be in the creative space in some form, and it just happened to be that podcast started to get big, and that's where I landed. I think probably the entire business industry has been really exciting to learn, but also nerve-wracking. I didn't go to business school. So I'm sitting here and I know how to be a creative, but on the other side, you have to learn how to manage your business. Also, social media never turns off. And I think that's something that creators are probably really struggling with managing. How do I put it down and detach for a minute? So I think I've also learned more sometimes is shutting off for a minute, because then I'm gonna come back more refreshed and I'll actually be giving them quality over quantity. Spotify is one of the biggest in the audio space. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yeah, it's cool. This is insane that I signed this deal. I think for Call Her Daddy, the goal is to continue to grow and maybe a TV show, a book, a movie, a tour, a Christmas album, and then I'll retire at 80.
People need to know who you are, and I think you have to reveal yourself in some ways, because you really need to earn that respect from your staff. They have to know who they're fighting with and who they're fighting for, and the things that you believe in, and what ultimately they are signing on for that will hopefully take you to the promised land, which for us is a world championship. My name is Kim Ang, General Manager of the Miami Marlins. In terms of the road that led here, it's probably over the course of about 15 years, definitely more than 10 interviews with many other clubs. It was a long and arduous process. I think to be rejected that many times is tough on anybody's ego, but I think at the end of the day, it's really hard to lose hope in your dreams, and you just have to keep pushing on. In terms of this stage, I just feel a lot more wise than I was 10, 20 years ago. I think I've seen a lot more. The experiences are rich and deep. And so I think, when you get to this point in your career, in your life, I think you just have a better understanding for people, what they go through, the trials and tribulations, and again, trying to get everybody on the same page and how much that really means. You just absolutely have to keep going after it. And look, at a certain point, we all come to doubt ourselves. But I think that those are also points for reflection and for really gaining a deep understanding of what is important to you. And it's at those times where you make those choices and you decide whether to just keep pursuing or, take a break. But I think you never lose sight of those dreams.